greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on another day, another moment, another opportunity for us to reflect on what is important. What is important? Hair? I'm not sure it's that important, you know. And I did technically ask for this. I did technically ask for this. Otherwise, I would have just shaved my head already by now. Thank you for joining me. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna go get my bottle of water, my book of things worth saying. Hopefully, the wind is gonna relent eventually. Probably not, but it'd be that way. Joy Vive and Shannon and Nana. Love you, friends. I'm back in a second. Ooh-wee. Backeth again. Man, I feel like I'm already being driven insane by the wind. You know, like it's one of those things. What is important, friends? What is important? Happiness. Is happiness the most important thing? Is each other's happiness the most important thing? Is being calm the most important thing? Is being loving the most important thing? On a serious note, I want you to tell me what is important. Yesterday we had a little bit of a conversation about the meaning crisis. The big sad, and how the big sad is a derivative of the meaning crisis. How we can get big sad based on the relationship we have with our parents, the relationships we have with our jobs, with our titles, with the amount of money that we're earning, and how technically none of those things are of utmost importance. So I want to talk about what's important. Happiness is important. There we go, Maxine. I believe so. I believe so, and it's beautiful to me that you say that because the philosophy slash, you know what? Yeah, what's up, wind? Can't freaking blow the wind into my hair and I'm not sitting adjacent to where the wind is blowing. I'm struggling. I'm so struggling. You know what? I refuse to struggle. Sickened. Is that better? Did the wind really just change direction? No, it actually did. You know, okay. I surrender. I lose. I accept. You're more important than I am. Quite literally. If it wasn't for the wind, everything would just die. We wouldn't have anything. So the wind is very important. Fine. Doggo! PK! So nice to have you here with me. Thank you for joining us, dude. How are you doing? What's important, brother Bear? What's important? Like for me, right now in this moment, I've seen you go on this weight loss journey, dude. And I've been pretty much on my weight loss journey since starting to stream as well, right? I've lost 20 something pounds since starting to stream. And it's been such a beautiful journey of like becoming ourselves, and how this process, this act of becoming yourself in turn kind of allows for a sense of happiness. I'm gonna try and deal with the wind noise just a little bit, see if I can. I might end up ruining other things, but does it sound better? It might actually sound better. It looks atrocious, but it might actually sound better. Oh, I love you, friends, so much. Gateway Beard. Hey, Dan is here. So much love to you, Gateway Process. Vibes to you too. What's important? Compassion, Gateway says. Gateway believes compassion is what's important. So I'm gonna share some bias, like little bit of bias. I believe one of the most important things is happiness. You know, especially in this context of trying to find happiness as individuals, where we live in a world right now where we're more taken care of, where we have more resources, where we have more tools, we have more information than we've ever had before in the existence of humanity. While at the same time, we're less happy than we've ever been as humanity. Or, that's debatable, but of the amount of people we are, statistically, the amount of people that are unhappy, I believe there are more people unhappy on the planet Earth right now than there has ever been unhappy people on the planet Earth right now. And if you look at what the world is like, and I believe that the people that are unhappy might have it worse than others. If you look at the world at large, if you had to go base level, we have less reason to be unhappy than we may have had before. So for me, I believe one of the most important things for us to figure out is how to be happy. It wasn't that windy sounding. No, not on the Reddit it wouldn't be, but on the YouTube definitely. It has holes as it goes through. The thing that I'm using to shield the wind with is it wants to be seen though. Let me see if I can do this. Sicketh. That shouldn't be in the way. Well, way to go, man. Finding yourself and a great collateral being more healthy. Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. Especially that. And just the happiness that comes along with that. The happiness that comes along with you being able to show yourself that you're capable of realizing things in your life. And I feel at this point in our existence, so many people feel like they are powerless to change things. They're powerless to feel one way or another. They're powerless to change things. And it's causing us to forget what's important. It's really causing us to forget what's important. And it's interesting to me, and I wonder if there's like a formula, right? You just give someone a formula, like a mathematical problem you're trying to solve. Oh, I see you're struggling with this math problem. Have you tried this formula? And then they're like, oh, thank you. Now this math is easy, right? I want it to be like that. I want to be able to figure out a formula so tangible, so salient that I can just give it to someone, and upon them applying it to their lives, things become better. They become more happy. So to round this point off, going into the future, I believe what is going to be of the utmost importance is your happiness. You're like, Mel, just speak to me. Yes, your happiness, dear friend. Because if you're not happy, it's very difficult for you to kind of like project that happiness onto the ones around you, onto your pets, onto your plants, onto your colleagues, onto your family. Na 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 na. That happiness has to start from you. It has to almost be like this visceral experience that you cultivate from the self so that you can give it to the rest of us. The hardest step is the first step. Yes, dude. Literally. Literally. But it's possible. You are capable of making yourself happier, friend. I was capable of making myself happier. And the joke is as well, it's not necessarily a fix, kind of coming back to this whole equation slash algorithm slash formula thing. It's not just that easy. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna do thing and then I'm just gonna be happy forever. No, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way either. It's kind of like an active pursuit, an active showing up for, and sometimes even more often than not, you won't feel happy, and that feeling of not being happy can then in turn cause you to create like some sort of imposter syndrome story that you tell yourself of like, oh, because I'm not happy, so and so, right? And then you start to identify with the so and so, the story you tell yourself about why it is you're not happy right now. And then instead of trying to change something, instead of taking action to change whatever the story is you just told yourself, you tell yourself the story as if it's set in stone. You know, for instance, like one of the most brutal stories that I've had to tell myself at one point is the story of being taken advantage of. You know, like losing out on 10,000 plus dollars because the person that employed me refused to pay me after the work I did, you know. And I was perpetuating that story. The story of anger, the story of dissatisfaction, the story of injustice, you know. And it made me so angry and it made me so sad and it made me so resentful of people, of the world, of how things can be, if you will. And as soon as I let go, it's almost like happiness was already there, you know, like the letting go of something is where the happiness resides, but it's you stealing it from yourself. Actively stealing it from yourself. Beloved Isaac, beloved Fred, so nice to have you. Wind noise is not a problem today. Joy Vive, I'm sure it's probably less now. Like if you could only see what I'm doing right now, it's kind of ridiculous. I made baklava about a week ago. I know how you like sweets. It was with walnut. It was amazing. I do like sweets, but I don't eat a lot of them. You know, like remember that cake I told you about? I still have left. Like I still have 70% plus of it left. I like to like eat sweets in like a bite, and then I'm like, yes, presence within the sweetness, and then I leave it for X amount of time, and then I go back to it. Baklava. I don't think I've had much baklava. That's the thing that I'm really thinking about with walnuts. I believe baklava is like layered dough with like some sort of sweetener between the layers, something like that. Might be wrong. I'll have to get myself some. Thank you for allowing yourself that experience at the bay. How was it? I didn't know baklava was a thing till not too long ago. It sounds so good though, it really does. I think I've seen photos at most. Gobbity Goose joining us too. Truth is here as well. Even Lolo. Man, you friends are flattering me. Beloved Isaac, again, hello. So many homies. Love is true, dude. Love is true. The goblin salute. Saluting to you too. So happy to have all of you beauties here with us today. Mm. This is what's important. This is what's important. The love that we get to share with one another is what is important. The happiness we get to bring into each other's lives. Thank you for making me happy. Overdone yonder. I think it's the first time I've ever seen your username, friend. You make me happy to see your name. Learning to comfort myself and self-soothe for emotional safety is so difficult. That's interesting you say that. The closest that I've gotten to self-soothing as of late was last night, where I was meditating and there was just like an extreme amount of noise in my environment. We didn't have electricity, so I was like trying to reflect. I was reading a book first. It's called Alien Information Theory. It's a little bit much. So I read it. I read for like an hour of that. Then I decided to meditate a little bit. And during my meditation, I think there's like either rats or some sort of mammal living in my roof right now. And there's like some sort of domestic violence happening amongst them. So you just see these, you hear, to say it in so many words, these, and I'm just like meditating, and I'm like, huh, I can get angry, I can be like, these fucking, how dareth thee to interrupt, or I can just listen, you know, I can be like, huh, I wonder what's happening, I wonder what it looks like as they're screaming at one another, I wonder if they are like actually fighting, or if they're just like screaming at each other from across the room. And I was in that way, as you mentioned, self-soothing. I was reflecting. I was trying to separate myself, at least. And I don't like the word separate, right? I was trying to separate myself from the experience by experiencing the experience from a different perspective, if that makes any sense at all. And as I was doing that, not only did the sounds go away, but I also didn't have a problem with it anymore. But it is difficult. It takes work. You're so right, friend. Hey, wet jumper, Nate! Nate! No, dude, love to you. Thank you for the gold, friend. Oh, now this. Now this is some happiness right here. So much happiness, dude. I've missed you, dear friend. And yet, we've never been anywhere than here and now. You know, like I had this whole uh, scenario play out in my head a little bit earlier, where I was thinking about going back to music festivals. And at the music festivals that I go to, for some reason, uh, I don't know how to say this without saying it. People know me. I think that's a way to say it. People know me. For somehow, people that I don't know me. You know, where I'm like I'm dancing, and then some person is like, "Is jij Estian?" And I'm like, yeah, I guess." "Oh, I've heard about you from this friend and that friend." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Let's dance," you know? And like I was going through this whole scenario of going back to these music festivals. And every single time I go to these music festivals, for some reason, it takes me months, if not years, in between my visits to these music festivals. And I was reflecting on going back and then being confronted slash genaderd, approached by one of these friends that know me, asking me, where have I been this whole time? You know? And my answer to that question was, in the scenario that I rendered in my head, is that, well, the last time I was here, we were in this moment, right? You know, like kind of like reflecting back to 2020. We were here having this conversation. And then a moment passed. And now we're here in this moment again. Right? So no more than a moment has passed, mate. How has your moment been? Thank you for being in this moment with me again. We have Miss Molly joining us as well, even forcing it. Starts the feeling of happiness. Smile. Even forcing it starts the feeling of happiness. Happiness takes practice. I hope today has found you all well. I see a cup completely full. Not even half full. Thank you for filling my cup, Miss Molly. For making me happy just with your presence. Thank you, Truth, for sending love as well. Maxine says, "What's the food you ate after you're completed? Was the food you ate after you completed your fast tasty?" It's an interesting question, Maxine. It wasn't not tasty. It was tasty in the way that things are tasty, if that makes any sense. But I was tasting more than just the taste thereof. I was tasting also the health implications, if that makes any sense. Like I could feel my body being influenced as it was trying to absorb the things I was eating. And that part of it was not tasty, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So in turn, it made me not eat as much as I could have, which is a good thing. But it also made me not want to eat that much of it, which can be seen as a bad thing. But it was beautiful nonetheless. Maxine says, "I found in my journey with manifesting that self soothing and emotional stability are number one. When you get that down and learn how to be unconditional with yourself, manifestations come very fast to me." The thing that I've been manifesting as of late is just a sense of gentleness, sense of calm, sense of knowing, a remembrance that we really don't need anything out of what is outside of what is. Just to be can be difficult, though. You're so right. Self-soothing, and the other word you use is emotional stability. Yeah, that calmness, I guess, is emotional stability to me. I am hoping today is less cantankerous than yesterday. It seems like a great start here, Isaac. Sending you all the good vibes taken to your day, brother bear. I have been not smoking throughout my day, and it's been a lot better, brother bear. It feels a lot better. Because now, by the time I get into this space, I have such a sense of clarity that I don't feel bad about anything. You know, like I feel guilt, shame, and hatred. Guilt, shame, and hatred is one of the things that kind of rob us of our ability to be spiritual beings. And even though guilt and shame, especially in the context of, smoking marijuana, for example, is something self induced, you can induce it, right? Like there's a certain pattern that you get into where those other patterns arise. And I've noticed those patterns arise, so now I'm I'm being proactive. I know you know. I love you, Brother Bear. You're gonna have an amazing day. I'm sure of it. Yes, lads. Reflecting on rat the domestic violence. I don't even know what to do with this insane story. Yes, JV. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? Like the point was just the fact that even within listening to these things absolutely like losing their minds, screaming at each other in my roof, and unfortunately there's no way to get into my roof. Like there's no one of those little holes or something, so I can't like get in there and check what's happening. It's kind of like shut, and they get in through the roof somewhere, and we live on a farm, so that's just how it is. Like as fast as you can get them out of your house, the ones that live in the fields are like sick. There's this the indoor houses have opened up again. So it's I feel at least just a moment of reflection to be able to be calm, be stable, be happy, be loving, regardless, even with rat domestic violence. Exactly right. Oh goodness, Mal, let's go to Electric Forest, best festival in the country, Big Trippy. You don't have to ask me twice. Truth, it's just about figuring out how at this point. I was listening on Poems and Chill live yesterday. You were so fun to listen to. Joy Vive is an absolute angel. Thank you for listening, friend. I should be in the office. I've been dealing with just adulting frustration. My car has been getting light body work done since early July. July! July? Yesterday was the fourth time it was delayed. Oh goodness, but the bear. Our car is also at the shop, or my mom's car technically, and it's also been there for I think like 4 weeks, longer than it was supposed to be there for, Brother Bear. So like the frustration that I feel, knowing that my mom is frustrated, like you know what I'm saying? So that now I feel your frustration for you too, Brother Bear. I can only imagine. I'm stoked about wearing my tie-dye yoga pants in the office today. Yow! Lolo, go and show people that you are. You are. You don't expect. You're not trying to be something you're not. You just are. Colorful and all. Love to you, friend. Thank you for dressing the way you want to. I did it early, so I'd be ready for the in-office start. He said it'd be done by August. Here we are though, and my job is looking at me like, dude, you can't work from home all the time, but you don't have a car, dude. So today I'll be renting a car and losing money, which is fine. Just always tense of today's state of finances. Yet it's all good. I'm blessed to have the opportunity. It's just been tough. Thank you for dealing with the Brother Bear, dealing with one car and Jasmine starting not only school but also a new job. Just a lot of moving pieces. So happy to have them all though. Oh, I started my no smoking until after work yesterday, but then I whined at 3. I mean, 3 is already good. 3 is already good. At least you like pushed it all the way up to 3. That's the point, right? I'm not saying you're bad. Not any of us are bad. We're trying to find balance within our own presence, and it's always a fluctuating. Now like this, now like that. Now this is what's right. Now this is what's right. Never tell yourself a story. Never convince yourself the story you're telling right now is the ultimate story worth telling. Because as we keep telling ourselves stories, there keeps being more and more information to tell ourselves stories about, so we can keep adjusting the story to tell the best story that we can tell. You know? You know. Lolo got the tie-dye pants. Dope, right? How cool is that? I was more present, but still not sober. You still got this. We're getting good, Isaac. I'm sure about it. Like I have been baking again for my mom as of late. Yeah, nothing needs to be said. I can bake. Yes, that's what I've been reminding myself of. When I bake, I just listen to podcasts. So I'm like, yes, I am in fact a scholar while I'm working with my hands. I've been reading the book Paradise Lost by Milton. It's a beautiful look into the stories of the Bible. I'm not religious, but the allegorical nature of truths between the lines. Yeah, it's very beautiful, dude. Sorry to hear about your car, Isaac. Thank you, Joy V, for sending that love. So frustrating, Isaac. I wonder if its holdup is due to parts taking a long time to come in. That is apparently what's taking us long as well, but if it's bodywork, then it shouldn't be that way. I love Paradise Lost. I don't think I've read it before, but I have been listening to a lot of Jordan Peterson as of late, and the dude is very hard into the Bible as of late. So I've been begrudgingly listening. Yeah, Jordan, tell me. You know, if I'm anything, I'm not scared of information. At least it's okay. It's literally a headlight. Like I haven't needed it to be done, just a fender bender, so it was all cosmetic. I thought I was being good by getting it done early. Turns out I'm punished. It is insurance sent a used headlight that was cracked and didn't work. Then Mazda sent a new one, the wrong one. We're still waiting on it to come in. Ah, the ridiculousness, brother. Will you do another bake stream? Love the first one. Joy Vive, the biggest thing is just connectivity in that space. Like, we don't have the best range or the best Wi-Fi range, yeah, in that space. And it usually is like a multifaceted thing where I mix the dough and then I put it in the pans and then I bake it and then that takes 50 minutes. So then I go and do something else. Like today, I cooked myself a meal and then I ate it while I was waiting for the rusks to bake. And then I take the rusks out and then I press down on it to score it where I'm gonna cut it, and then I let it cool down, and then that takes another 2 hours. And then after it cools down, then I have to cut it, and then I have to like scrape at the bottom of it, and then I have to pack it individually on like drying racks, and then I put it in the oven for like 7 8 hours for it to dry, and then I take it out of the oven, and then I like individually package the rusks. So the entire process takes me like 12 plus hours. So it's a little bit difficult for me to do it as a stream in a way where I feel you'll get a conclusion and you're like, yeah, this is fun to watch. Like I feel the way my mind works is I like continuity. So if I could, somehow fast forward through the baking process and fast forward through the drying process and have all of it done in the same stream, I probably would have done every single one on stream. Thank you, Joy V, for the encouragement, though, friend. Satan is looked at not as the embodiment of evil, but a fallen angel as he was, believing he could be more powerful than God, the first sin, a beautiful interpretation of the human condition. Yeah. I don't think he thought he was more powerful than God. He just wanted to be the God, right? He was the most beautiful angel in heaven, the angel of music. And I believe that that's an analogy for what we're supposed to pay attention to as well. As you mentioned, he believed he was exclusively God. And that is kind of where his fall came. That as soon as you believe you are exclusively God, and that is kind of like the Divine Comedy as well. If you've read the Divine Comedy, that is kind of how he depicts the ultimate hell. The deepest, like, center of hell isn't warm, it's ice. Where Satan, completely alone, just constantly flapping his wings, freezing himself in place in his own pride, believing he is separate from everything else, alone, and then freezing, getting cold, getting bitter, getting angry in that state, closing off. That that is hell. That is Satan. Not not believing that you are like God, not believing that you are God even, but believing that you're only God, that you're the only, right? Like, and again, that Zen koan of the monk whose turn it was on that day to mop the floors. And instead of mopping the floors, this monk convinces himself that what is most important is my meditative practice. So he decides, instead of mopping the floor today, I'm going to go and meditate. And he sits down and he meditates for 8 hours. And he meditates and he meditates and he meditates. And by the eighth hour, he becomes enlightened. He realizes, I am God. Without any doubt, without any worry, without any feelings of guilt or shame, he remembers, I am God. And he jumps up from his meditative position and he runs into the, like, let's say, living quarters where all of his other monk friends are staying. And he bursts into the room and he tells them, my monk friends, I remembered, I am God. I am God. And they all look at him and they tell him, congratulations. It took you long enough. Now mop the floor. Mop the floor. It's your turn to mop the floor, fam. Yes, you're God. Congratulations. All of us are as well. It's your turn to mop the floor. Right? Like, that is to me the most beautiful koan, because that's the way we're supposed to understand it. That, yes, you have that godlike, Godhead essence inside of you, and that you should honor that part of yourself. You should be happy that you have that part of yourself inside of you. You should be excited. You should be proclaiming it to the universe. You should share it with other people. But it doesn't put you above them. It doesn't mean that other people have to mop the floor for you. Right? We're in this together, literally. There is no separation. And as soon as you separate yourself, that is when the cold comes in. Because then you don't have the warmth of connectivity, the warmth of being together. They're white and turquoise. How are you? I think I missed a bit. I don't know exactly what that's supposed to mean. Yeah, that's good. Comes back. Sounds like pretty pants, Lolo. Oh, the white and turquoise tie-dye pants. I used to have white and turquoise ones as well. I don't know if turquoise is the color I'm thinking about. Turquoise is a type of blue, right? I appreciate it, friend. All I can do is stay present and realize how silly and made up the problems are. I don't make them up, but I'll see them for what they are for sure. Yeah, dude, just be like, oh, now this. Cool. It's a story of hope for humanity as Adam and Eve left the Garden of Eden. They may now have to experience sin, but we will always have a piece of the garden and divinity. That can never be taken away from us after all, friend. Nate is here as well. Hey, the video is a little clearer here. Yeah, it is, dude. It's nice to have you, Brother Bear. Chomper. Love to you, man. How have you been, friend? How's life been treating you? Exactly. I felt it when Jazzy came home, super excited about a good first day at job went, and I couldn't focus and was complaining. I had to take a second to let go of the silliness. You brought the bear, at least you can. At least you're willing to tell yourself that you're capable of it. Instead of telling yourself the story over and over again, holding on to that story, identifying with that story, being like, oh, this is my story. Oh, shit, I'm a victim, don't you know? It's like, hey, how about you let go of that story, you just be present. You just look what is. How about that? And then as soon as we do that, suddenly things open up. Gotta pay attention to that queen. You do, Brother Bear. No matter how far we stray from the divine nature, we will always be able to choose to experience the Godhead. Exactly, dude. All you have to do is close your eyes. Close your eyes and be. And there you are, as you always have been. I love that, Isaac. You're a good hubby to her. He is, literally. So much love. Thank you, Shan, for sending that love as well. I found my journey of manifesting that self-soothe. I think you've heard one. We have Overdone Yonder saying, I used to depend on external validation, alcohol and weed, but I'm learning that those things don't serve me, and I'm starting to practice taking better care of myself. I say practice because I mess up a lot. Please, friend, that is how we get better. Like, it's almost a joke at this point where we don't realize that the best way, the most efficient way for the human being to learn things is to fail, is to mess up. You're doing it, friend. You're getting better every single time you make a mistake. Believe in yourself. I do too. Miss Molly says, people know me also everywhere I go. I have no clue how, yet welcome each and every one of them. Me too, Miss Molly. Me too. Because I know that the reason they know about me is probably because they heard something good, or they have some sort of fascination. So I always try to live into that part of them. No problem. Self-mastery can be a difficult journey. Absolutely. Jumpin is joining us as well. I missed your opportunity, your positivity in my life. In our time apart, I've been working way too hard on my career, and I've forgotten what is important. human connection. Much love, Estian. Nate, you never forgot, friend. You just had to do what you had to do, Brother Bear. And I understand that. I really do. I really do. Like, things are pretty brutal in the world right now, and we are expected to be scared more than ever. I appreciate and I acknowledge your ability to remember what's important, man. Work is beating me into the ground this week, so I booked a vacation to Greece. To Greece, gateway process. Okay, okay, fine. I'm gonna pretend like I'm not touched that you didn't book a vacation to South Africa. Okay, I'm gonna pretend a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more pretending. Okay, I'm done being touched. Greece! I've never been to Greece. Hello, kitty cat. Hey, meow. We got a new cat. Two new cats, apparently. They they were going to be put down at the SPCA, and we were like, nah. So now we have two more cats. But this little cat doesn't want me to touch her just yet. I think whoever, had her beforehand or took her to the SPCA might have abused her. So she's still vigilant around us. But she did come like this close to my hand while I was feeding her today. So I'm guessing she's opening up a little by little. I'll try my best. It's my favorite thing to do for sure. Please, for the vet, continue doing it. Continue being happy. Awareness to me, or enlightenment, isn't some goal or a journey. It's just another muscle to be worked on. If you let go for too long, everything you do with that muscle is harder. Yo, well, to kind of bring that into the muscle, I think awareness, enlightenment, and mindfulness can kind of, be like a trifecta that blends into itself there. I feel it too, man, completely. That mindfulness is a muscle that you have to keep practicing. It's not until April. I just need a light at the end of the tunnel. I feel it completely. I was just joking with you, gateway process. Of course. Shame. She's still a little bit vigilant with the dogs as well. She doesn't know if they're dangerous or not. Our dogs tend to, at least, not be cat hating individuals, so I just want the kitty to be happy. I want her to be gentle. Gateway, you deserve a vacation, friend. I'm just being ridiculous. Selfish, even. I'm being very selfish. Because I want you to be, as happy as you can be. And I want to show you South Africa eventually. I will. I will. Fortunately, we get to do so via technology. We don't have any homies living in Greece just yet, sharing streams with us. Maybe there is someone, probably. If you meditate and give a little time and love to the muscle of awareness, it will serve you. You've never reached the done point. Nope. No bodybuilder gets max ripped and stops going to the gym. Fortunately. I mean, some of them, I guess, I would tell them to stop. But I don't think it works that way with awareness, fortunately. Like, awareness is ever deepening. That's a pretty cool thing about it, actually. Definitely a beautiful experience, a nice thing. Work the muscle, no shame, out of the way. Absolutely. Have you ever heard of liminal space? I have. Have you ever played Superliminal? An emotional, spiritual, or physical space of the in-between, a threshold or transition. I feel like I have been lost there for a while. If you want to get lost there for a little bit longer, go and check out a game called Superliminal. The first time I played it, I took acid to play it with, and I finished the game in like a single sitting. And that game, it took me on some rides, dude. Superliminal. The way that we see the world, the goodness, dude. The way we can see the world. The fact that we can see the world in different ways and it can conceptually make sense to us doesn't make sense to me. You're like, what are you talking about, Melt? You can in that game, for example, right? Like this tree could only be like this from this exact perspective. But if I move to this perspective, this tree would be misaligned. So I'll move into this perspective, and then upon moving into this perspective, I can take this tree out of that perspective, and then I can drop the perspective on another space. And your brain is like, yep. That makes sense. But it doesn't make sense at all. It's not until April, Gateway. Then there's still plenty of time to visit. Yeah, like the thing is, I'm coming to America in April. I didn't want to say that. I'm coming to America at the mid of April. So, I might miss Gateway, but it's not gonna be the end of the world. We'll visit again. I would like to visit. I would like to have you here, friend. As I've said to you, friends, there is space. Like we have multiple beds. Like I wouldn't. Not that I don't love you, but I don't want you here forever. But I would like to have you here for a visit. Liminal on acid would be too much. It's the exact right amount. What? Yeah, it's so for example, like this, and this is literally how the game works. You can walk into a room and then see there's like a ledge that you have to climb over. And then you have to look in your room if there's any shapes. And then you'll see there's like these smears on the wall. And then you're like, oh, those smears are probably a three-dimensional object from a certain perspective. Then you have to put yourself in that perspective, and then that three-dimensional shape arises. And then upon seeing that three-dimensional shape, you can pull it out of the environment and then place it back in the environment and use it as a jumping block to go to the next level. It's like, it breaks your brain, but it makes sense. It's so beautiful. That's so exciting coming to America. That's the plan. That's the plan. Next year, April is what it's looking like. That's what we're getting close to. I'd be shaking in my boots. My goodness. Where is the US are you going to be? Like, the plan is to come through to Austin, Texas at first. And then I'm probably going to be spending like a month or two in California. Now you must reveal your travel details. I mean, like, Gateway, you're the one that revealed first, friend, and I didn't want to say anything because I still don't know if it's guaranteed, but that is what the plan is, like that is, at first it was October, but with things as they are, October wouldn't have worked. So now the plan is for the 14th of April. That is like the tickets that we've looked at and stuff. My birthday is in April as well. We're in America. Let's get crunk. Like I would like to go throughout the entire America. It's just if I'd be able to afford to go through the entire America. I'll probably go back home if I don't have money left. If he told us there might be a riot. Oh snap! Time to kidnap Melt. I would love to celebrate our birthday together. It would be so awesome. Absolutely. Austin is a hell of a nice, fine town. And I live in California. You're coming north or south. SoCal, I believe. Yeah, I believe I'm coming to SoCal. Bruh, my birthday is the 18th of April. It's too good not to happen. I guess now we have to manifest it, dude. That's what we're looking at least. Like I have a few friends. I think 3 different friends who have offered to pay for my flight tickets to America. It's just about doing it at this point. Like the visa is the biggest problem to me, but I have to have the ticket already bought in order to go and like apply for the visa. So it's a little bit of a thing. You look lighter today, Melt. I'm glad to see it. I got to melt away the stuff we were talking about yesterday, jumping. And I sometimes feel bad talking about the things that I talk about, especially when it comes to, like the topic of my dad or the difficulties I'm having with family, because it's not, it is love, right? It is love. It's me showing up for that love, but it can make us feel tense. It can make us feel like we're not loved as much as we are. And upon reflection, the rest of the yesterday, and the rest of today, I realized that that is what I needed as well. Maybe all of us needed that, and I feel genuinely lighter today for that. Mm, is this April Meltfest? Maybe, maybe. Like I'm planning to do it that way actually with the bay. Like I want proper, speakers and stuff. Like I want us to like actually dance. Like have a little bit of a, I have a jolt, dude. Like I have a proper good time. There, we're gonna all go to Texas. Yeah, dude. Consolidate on the Haywire Hill. Actually visit Uncle Becker's and Aunt B. I've been to Electric Forest Fest. It's 20 minutes from my home. You were welcome to come and stay, Miss Molly. I have a home 20 minutes away from Electric Forest Fest. That sounds so sick. It's absolutely amazing. I love your scarf. Thank you, Almighty Vanity. This is a gift from a friend. that actually used to tune into these spaces. TJ is somewhere in the infinity. I'm not sure where right now, but he's definitely there. Man, it's kind of trippy actually doing it like this. I have to send you a picture of my dog. He looks exactly like your pup. He's just way bigger. You've said that, Jumpin. I'm still waiting, friend. I'm still waiting to see. The way you tell stories is very pretty. Thank you, Recluse. Reclusabus. I like your username. That's very nice of you to say. Storytelling is something that I've wanted to be good at my entire life. So the fact that you like the way I tell stories is it's a big compliment, friend. Thank you for that. I can't stay. I have so much love for all of you. We love you too. Jump in. You were here, friend. That's what matters. Thank you for joining us. Take care, Jack. Ramblers joining us too. Dream Notes. It's been a while, friend. Hey, man. Long time no see. Long time indeed. Love to you, friend. It's nice to have you here with me. We have Beanzilla. My birthday is April 8th. We have more April babies. Even Ninja. Lisa. Oh, hey to you. Hey to you, Lisa. Aunt V is joining us too. Thank you, dear friends, for sharing some time, sharing a moment. Choosing? Is it? Is it important to you? Choosing what's important to you? Thank you for believing that this is important enough that you would be willing to spend some of your time. I appreciate it so much. We love you. Aunt B, Lisa, Beanzilla, it's been a while since seeing you too, friend. What are the odds that we have four friends that haven't joined us in a while, joining us now? How are you doing? I've been good. I've been pretty good. I went on like a big fast, for the whole last week, which like put me through an interesting mind space. Like the whole hyper vigilant, hyperactive, almost like anxiously getting things done type of mind space. I broke that fast after going on like a little bit of a visit to my family. Took some took some lions for a walk, if you will. Went on an adventure with a bunch of lions. Came back into this space, struggling with some difficulties with our family as we do sometimes, Lisa. Feeling like we're not understood, feeling like we're not seen for who we are, feeling like we're not appreciated. That all of the work we've done, all of the all of the meaning we've tried to induce for our lives is seen as not meaning. You know, to be to be told that what we believe is of utmost importance isn't. And it was difficult for me yesterday to accept that. And I feel today I've gotten to the point of accepting that what's important is our happiness, your happiness, Lisa. The fact that you can be happy in this moment, regardless of what people believe about you, regardless of the way you look, regardless of the food you eat, the things you do for a living, that you can be happy just being, you know. And that's what we're tuning into today, dear friend. We love you, Lisa. I see you. I appreciate you. I love you too. Thank you for saying something so beautifully. Right? Lisa could have said anything. Uh, Fuck off and die, Melt. Oh, Lord, but instead, no. Lisa was like, I see you. Oh, looking at me with her eyeballs. Appreciate you. To be grateful. And I love you to be. I heard this beautiful example of what love is, and I look forward to someone asking me one day. But love, ultimate love, is the ability for multiplicity and unity to exist at the same time. Infinity. That's love. How about that? Wow! Multiplicity and unity within infinity, as you and me right now being united, multiple and yet one. Thank you for uniting with me, beloved Lisa. It's always a pleasure having you here with us. Is this April Mouth Fest? someone pick me up and take me with you. We will have to. Shannon and Anna. You'll have to bring Amara too. Let's go up the mountains and have a meltdown circle. I would love that. I'll definitely come and meet wherever you land. We look forward to seeing you there, Gateway. Holla! Como está Juan da Hue? We were just talking about you, beloved Uncle Beckers, about the Haywire Hill, about the plans that we're trying to realize. I don't know if I was allowed to say anything just yet. Let's pretend I didn't say anything. Let's just pretend all of that stuff that was said I didn't actually. Don't worry, be happy, some guy. Here's a little song I wrote. You might wanna sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life you have some trouble. And when you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Oh, you'll be happy. Your landlord said your rent is late. You something, 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 and don't worry. Oh, thank you for reminding me not to worry. Oh goodness, Amara will lose her mind. I mean, Amara would have a lot of friends. Bobby, I believe we have a bunch of friends who have kids around her age as well. You know, I'm thinking about our beloved Kira Burb right now as well, actually. My ears were jingling. I've been building in preparation, and we know, Brother Bear, we know, dude. Oh, we. I don't think, I don't think I realize how close these things are even sometimes. We have been manifesting, Brother Bear. We have been manifesting. But look at how happy you've made us by telling us. That's true, Joy Vive. That is true. That is what is important after all, right? The happiness that we get to share with one another. I'm very happy about it as well. But the thing is, I'm so reluctant, resistant to sharing things that I don't absolutely know as fact, right? Like, I only share things from a personal perspective when I really believe it or I believe it has truth in it. So even though this is something that we're planning to do, it's not set in stone. The ticket is not bought just yet. So I don't know that it is how it is. And then on top of that, I'll also have to get myself my visa, which is also going to be a whole nother bunch of hoops that I'll have to jump through. So that is why I've been resistant in sharing any of it. But a dream we dream together, after all, right? A dream you dream alone is but a dream. A dream we dream together becomes reality. Wait, what's happening? Do tell, so that we're on the same page. The April thing. Let me just say the April thing, Brother Bear. The plans for April. The plans for April, dude. Then look, I'll be telling her, such a social butterfly. She'll love it. I'm sure she will. Isn't it Wednesday, my dudes? It is. We're gonna be dancing today. Yes, all of the above. We're gonna definitely be dancing. To this, it really is. Nothing's a fact until it happens. You're making a plan and sharing them with us. Exactly, Joy V. Thank you, friends, for being excited with me. Some of us are sleeper cell agents and don't know it, but our agency will be activated soon. Oh goodness. I'm just imagining this alternate reality where every single one of you friends happen to be secret agents, you know, like deployed by the ultra wealthy, you know, to try and stop us from saving the world. And then suddenly we'll all be just dancing, and then like there will be like this tone playing over the speakers, and then suddenly everybody is suddenly super secret agent man activated, and then you know, just like a whole fighting sequence. Yes, I can see it now. I can see it now, God. Some of us are activated. You're an employee of Haywire Hill. Got a year's worth of work too, Brother Bear. You have to go and like get me an invitation. Like we actually have to start looking at how we're gonna do these things if you want to do it. I love everyone. So funny. And we love you, Gateway Process. And we love you, dear friend. Thank you for feeling this love with us. For feeling what's important. I'm a secret agent of love. Secret agent love. Secret agent love. My secret agent superpowers are tutti booty lasers, of course. I forgot completely. How am I gonna ninja fight freaking tutti booty lasers? I'm just gonna be like, and suddenly flying through all of the trees. Like making like this divot into the ground. Breaks out of the earth. I'm going full anime at this point. Gob is seeing the same things. I see him seeing the same things. True mouth clocking in every day. Yes. Never, never not showing up. Right, Joy Vive? Into infinity and beyond, after all. I think I've missed a few. Of course, I'm glad to catch you live again. I'm happy that you're here too, beloved Lisa. Hope your friends are feeling meld more mooply today. Much love to the infinite. Much love to truth. Thank you, friend. Unfortunately, I have to go back to work. I very much appreciate having connected in multiplicity. It's nice to have you here, beloved friend. Thank you for joining me. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Woohoo! Nice to see you too, Boop. Love you, Lisa. Thank you for doing what you do. We see you. You're making a difference, beloved friend. Oh, wait. Is it really happening? I thought we were joking. You might be joking. I, you might. I'm pretty sure Uncle Becky wants me to help him build cabins on B. I'm very sure he's not joking about that. It's just about me getting there at this point. Me getting there and having connectivity. Like I can even fast for weeks at a time, so you don't even have to feed me. I'll be like, yes, the fact that I'm not being fed means that I'm not supposed to be eating right now. Instead of convincing myself that I'm a victim. Don't work too hard, please don't. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you're appreciated. Make sure you go places where you're appreciated. I got connection. Wood fired. The wood fired connections, dude. Mm. What a trip it would be, huh, Uncle Becky? To stream, like we're streaming on RPAN right now, technically, right? But to stream on a Haywire Hill, after having streamed on Haywire Hill hundreds of times without being on Haywire Hill, I think it's gonna be quite like a like a sign, like a point to the universe, like a breaking point, like a tipping point for all of us. You'll have to chip your own internet. Chop your own internet. I do. Uncle Becky, you only in part know. I mean, you do know how hard of a worker I am. I mean, you don't show up every single day for 615 days if you're not willing to work hard, right? So I'm looking forward to it, brother Bear. You'll get sick of me. Sits down for a second. Hey, Brandon, you can I do something? It's like, bro, please. How about we sit on fire? We don't do something. With Gabi doing tutti cartwheels in the background. I don't think manual labor and fasting go together at all. Joy Vive, weirdly enough, it's easier for me to do manual labor when I'm fasting because and I shared this I think day before yesterday. No, on Sunday. Yeah, I shared this on Sunday. When you're fasting, it basically completely transitions you to burning ketones. And ketones is a more efficient fuel source. So as long as you have fat and your body is producing those ketones, you're pretty much, set for energy. But then on top of that, it also puts you in a state of mind where it kind of like takes you back to your prehistoric roots, where you're a hunter gatherer. So in that state of hunger, in that state of not having energy, your body is like, you need to be physical laboring to get yourself food. So it kind of like pushes me to doing physical things over and over again. Makes me want to do physical labor. I'm just gonna stand awkward in the background. Not knowing how to do what to do with your hands or something. I can see it. Holding a goat, yeah, holding a goat. Like Why are you holding the goat for? I just want to do something. Love you, brother Bear. Thank you for that. I love that so much. I got you, Melty. Plenty. I can have you too. I look forward to it, beloved friend. I really do. I hope you'll get to see you when you come to the US. We'll just have to make it happen, Maxine. We'll just have to make it happen. Like in the US, like the thing is, I come from South Africa, and I'm technically poor in South Africa, right? Like if one of you friends, literally any of you friends, if you get paid minimum wage, you are above middle class in South Africa, really. Like actually way above middle class. The average, the average salary in South Africa is $235. Think about that. That is the average salary in South Africa right now. $235. So if you get paid minimum wage and you work regular hours, you are earning at least, right? Like 10 times as much as the minimum wage here in South Africa. So I'm poor in South Africa right now. So coming to America, I'm gonna be like poor too. So like the biggest thing, the biggest limiting factor, I believe, is just going to be traveling. Fortunately, I'm pretty cheap when it comes to how much I eat. Where are you actually? South Africa, friend. I live in South Africa. Wait, $235 a month. Maxine, a month. I'm serious. I'm serious, friend. And on top of that, we have a 30% unemployment rate in South Africa as well. 50% of our youth, people under the age of 30, is unemployed right now. That is South Africa at this point. It's brutal. And that's why, you know, we're trying to do our own thing. Opportunities here in South Africa are far and few between, if you're lucky enough to get any. And the opportunity, the likelihood of you finding anything is if you have people that already, you know, work in a certain industry. Pippi is watching the cat. I'm watching the cat. I'm watching Pippi watch the cat. She seems to be coming closer to me. You want to see? I'll show you. There she is. It's that little specky speck. Hi, kus kus kus. Meow meow. Hey, ze meow. Nee, Pippi. Look at Pippi. Pippi, wat maak jy? Pippi. Oh, sy kat se kat uit. Yeah, it's wild, Max. It's really wild. You know, and it breaks my heart, especially because I feel like I can't do much right now. That's why one of the things that I've been trying to manifest is enough abundance to feed the world. You know, and it initially started with this imagination of to have literally enough abundance to be able to feed every single person in the world. But that is far out, to say it in so many words. So my interpretation now is to be able to create what I think of as essential stores, you know, where it will be a building with all of the essentials. And if you do not have the essentials, you are allowed to go and get yourself the essentials. So I hope within the next 11 years that I can start actually creating spaces like that for people. Kitty is curious. And Pippi is too. Dang, Mel, that is heartbreaking. How much is rent? What is the cost of a house? Hold the door. It's been a while since seeing you too, friend. The cat is coming closer and closer to me. And now she's running away. Pippi being so low on the ground seemed to be a threat. Rent, it depends on where you live, friend. You know, like most people in South Africa live what we call plakkerkampen. It's like people that build themselves houses out of, you know, steel sheeting. and like they don't pay rent, they don't pay, for the land that they live on, and they usually have access to electricity. I wanted to say access to free electricity. It's not free, but they make it free, to say it in so many words. But that is the average salary in South Africa. How do you stop abusers of this space? Of this space? In this one alibi, LB? We don't have abusers in this space, fortunately. Every single time there's a person that tries to share hatred, or you know tries to attack us, we just love them too. Because I can't imagine that anybody that chooses out of everything they could say to say something hurtful, that they're having a good time in their personal experience. So even though we do have a level of tolerance, like we'll let someone be spicy a few times, but if that spice is just spice for the sake of spice instead of spice for the sake of love, then we usually send them away. Of the essential store, I mean, let them abuse it, friend. Like you can only abuse it that much to say it in so many words. Kitty is coming closer to me again. Like I believe that the people that will abuse the space will only be able to do so from a place of lack, right? And it might be that way, where the first few months the place might get completely raided, and I'll be okay with that. I will still kind of brunt the cost of it getting raided. Like the abuse that I'm thinking could potentially happen is just the essentials getting stolen and then getting resold. That would be pretty brutal. And you could potentially just create like some sort of identification, I guess. I'll figure out the logistics. I have 11 years. Within the next 11 years, my goal is to be financially free enough to free you friends financially as well, to be able to employ you friends to be yourselves is one of my dreams. Like I believe every single one of you are creatives, creators. And the world we live in right now does not value the creator as much as it values the employee. And to kind of transition by being an example of that within self, for the self, that we are going to empower people to be creators of their own worlds instead of expecting people to create the world you want them to. If you enjoy these streams and you would like to support Melt here on his travels, please consider donating. Thank you. Joy Vive. Thank you so much, friend. It's so difficult for me to accept help because I don't think that we are lacking. You know, I have enough food to eat. I have enough food to eat so I can go 7 days without eating food and not worry about that. I have clean water to drink. I have a warm bed to sleep in. And there are people in the world that do not have that right now. So it instantly creates such a sense of tension in me to want help. Even though I don't have the things that I feel I would like to have, I know that I have so much more than some people in the world need to have, if that makes any sense. If you would like to support me, the the reason I have the Patreon is because I would like to be an artist. I would like to live a life where I make a living making beautiful things. So instead of just asking for help in and of itself, expecting you friends to just give me your money, I make daily works of art. And you get to see those daily works of art for as little as $1. Like that's the cheapest I could make it, is $1. I made it $1.11 because I like synchronicity, and I believe that every single time, and I do this in my own life as well. If I have to pay someone $200, for example, instead of paying them $200, I pay them 222, 333 instead of 300. I always do synchronistic numbers as a sign to the universe that not only am I giving this away because I can, but I'm going to do so synchronously believing that I'm in sync, that this giving, this gift is literally in sync with the universe. And yeah, if you would like to, you can give to me too. There's no expectation. You're already giving to me the infinity right now. Within multiplicity, unity. Where do you plan to get the funds for that store from, or no plan yet? I plan on creating a services business, friend. So my plan is to create a services business of which I will own 44%, of which the public will own 44%, and of which the world will own 11%. So 11%, and that way, no matter how much money the company makes, 11% will always go to the earth, 44% will always go to the people willing to support it. And in doing so, I could create for myself enough abundance to be able to do the things that I want to do as well. I want to build a city in the future as well, a city on the water, a city on the oceans, but that's going to be a whole mission. Kitty is coming out to explore. I want to show you again. She's being so cutesy. Look at that little adventurer. What a scene. Hey, meow. Peppy, wat maak jy? Peppy, Peppy, nee. Yeah. Doggos. What about the other 1%? The other 1% is just there because I didn't say 44.44, 44.44, 11.1111%. So it's gonna go 44444, 44444, 11, 11, 11, 11. And there's gonna be still 0.001% left there somewhere as well. We can give that. maybe we'll do it randomly, dude. You know, we can like make it a game. If you are somehow a part of the services, you can just expect like a lottery or whatever, you know, getting that 0.00001%, you know, of all the capital. Like this is kind of like loosely planned in my head. We'll keep purifying this idea as we go into the future. I appreciate you for asking. Thank you. Just a thought here. I immediately thought to myself, I don't know how to use that link to Patreon, so I won't use it. And if you had a crypto address, I would totally send some crypto to you. Hold the door. I do have a crypto address. I've never anticipated someone would be willing to send me crypto. Hold the door. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll take it as a gift just of you saying it. Legitimately. Thank you. It means more than I can say. I just want to make the world a better place, dude. I want to bring more happiness into the world. That's my goal. Bring more happiness into the world. Lane, talking about people that bring happiness. Creating is probably one of the most important things to me. Creating art is my whole being. Yes, Lane. That dude. I want to be able to, you know, give you enough finances so you can get yourself a place to live. You have enough money to buy yourself food with. You know that you're going to be taken care of. And then from that state of being taken care of, I want you to be you, to create what you're going to create, right? Instead of worrying about having to fall into an archetype, live a certain life so that you can continue living, to live your life. That's what I want to empower, to give you that happiness, if you will. It should go in reverse. Business should always have a reserve. Maybe a reserve would be a good as well. Like, the thing for me is just to be able to create a business that serves the people. Joy, right? Like I imagine the business that we're going to be building in the future. It's going to be services, the physical part of the business, the digital part of the business is going to be media or entertainment, and then the media could in turn feed into the physical. The physical could in turn allow for more media. I have to actually just write a whole business plan at this point, I guess. Start flushing things out. I'd also love to send you some crypto. I want to support your philosophy. You friends are melting me right now. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Thank you. Thank you eternally. You see, now I'm struggling again. You friends make me happy. Thank you so much. I'll reach out to you. I'll be hold the door. I'll reach out to you, friends. I think that would be a fascinating mixture of art and logistics. That's the plan. That's the plan. So, like the service is part of the business. I imagine a place where we can melt more. You know, one of the most beautiful experiences that I've had in services industry is at a place that offered these float tanks as a service. You know, so salt laden, body temperature water in a box where you close the box and it's completely dark, and then you float in this dark environment in this body temperature water with earplugs in, and you basically melt. You know, all of the things you think of as yourself, your body, your ability to taste things, your ability to hear things, your ability to see things, all of that stuff melts away, and you just are. Then on top of that, I would like to, add like Reiki, add actual massage therapy, add yoga classes, add meditation, guided meditation classes, add a space where people can come together and smoke a joint together, have a smoothie, eat a healthy meal. That would be the services side of the industry for me. And then the media side of the industry for me would be us as creatives making things worth seeing, creating shows, creating movies, creating music that people would actually feel brings more beauty into the world. Contact the mods, please. Maybe that's a way to do it. Yeah, I think he was talking about the essentials. I would like to create this essential store so that people that don't have the things they need, if you don't have eggs in your house, go to the essential store and get yourself eggs. You deserve to have the essentials. Bring back horse and buggy as well. I'm not sure about that, friend. Like it's, oh goodness, that was a little fly on my lip this whole time. Nice. Uh, like horse and buggies, horses poop wherever they go, and you have to keep feeding them, and you have to keep maintaining them, and you're technically expecting them to be a slave to labor. So I'm not sure if I'm completely pro bringing the horse and carts back. A new melt society. Melting away the old ways, friend. Bringing in multiplicity with unity, right? Ultimate love. Bringing that true love back. If you had a clear ledger of all funds given and you show it daily how you were using these funds to help others, I think that being able to see your funds work through you to do your thing is art itself. I love that, Hodor. I don't know how to do that though. Do you? Like maybe you should hit me up and then we can actually like have a conversation about that. Like I'm still figuring it out actively. And I'm young. I'm only a 24-year-old kid at this point. I believe I'm growing the skills that I need to be the person I'm supposed to be with the future we're heading into. And you friends are helping me become that actively. Thank you, Hodor. Thank you, dear friends, like infinitely. Thank you for the joy, homies. I'm off to the void. Falling into the infinity rambler. We'll see you again here. Love you, friend. Thank you. I'm behind on the stream, but I love your essentials idea, store idea. Thank you, Aunt B. I appreciate that so much. It was almost like a realization for me because I've been manifesting this idea of I want to manifest enough abundance to feed the whole world. Like it was to me that's the thing that I want to manifest, right? Like manifesting a car for myself. That right? Sure. Now I have a car. Now what? Manifesting a nice house. Okay, cool. Now I'm in a house. Manifesting enough abundance to feed the whole world. Now everybody in the world has enough to eat. Like, like there's just such a visceral difference between the two things that we could manifest that I want to manifest enough abundance for the whole world. I would love to wake up and have a cup of coffee and smoke a blunt next to the four of you. You are, though, aren't you? Here we are, Maxine, doing it. I'm looking forward to smoking a joint with you as well, friend. I have literally gone to town about 15 minutes in a wagon pulled by mules with Uncle Becky's dad. Then we were on the road for hours down by the river and back home. That sounds beautiful. I don't think it's bad in and of itself to do that. I just feel if we all had to do that, the amount of poop that there would be in our streets would just be inconceivable. Like actually inconceivable. Just like tons, actual metric tons of shit in the streets. I have literally gone. Okay, wait, one. You would be the end. That would be the end goal for sure. Absolutely, and it's coming, slowly but surely. It's almost here. Who needs tears? Accept the blessings that you are provided. I'm trying to, Nate. It's difficult for me sometimes, friend, because I feel, if I was having difficulty right now, like I had to get out of here, or I had to take care of myself medically, or etc., 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 then it would be a lot easier for me to accept the help. But since I'm not suffering, it's like I don't deserve the help. When, I should melt that mindset as well, actually. To accept love for the sake of love, instead of convincing myself somehow that because I am loved, that I don't deserve more love. Yeah, but no, there in the US you live and pay rent on the minimum wage. Womp womp, exactly. So it's like adjusted for, accept the blessings. Hey, Who Needs Tears is here too. Love to you. Thanks for gifting us your presence, Mel. Much love to your great. Much love to you too, Truth. You're the same, friend. So much love, Tear G's. Love to you too, Gob. Mmm, so much love being sent. Thank you, dear friends. Reading that brought a smile to my face, Shan. So happy to see you. Been taking it day by day, and today I'm feeling pretty good. Awesome. Spa, spa, spa. Yes, Isaac. Isaac knows already what I'm talking about. I'll run the weed spa. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Like being able to give people the joint. Like ask them about their smoking habits, ask them about who they, usually smoke with, how they usually smoke with, and then to go through the whole intention thing, right? Like to talk to them, to give them this understanding, this feeling as a service again, as to the power that in setting intentions can have on your mental effect. Like the future I see for us is so beautiful. Like seriously, I'm not even a little bit worried about what the future is going to hold for us because all I see is beauty. All I see is love. Remember that there is no time limit on becoming who you are meant to be. Yo, Nate, what a beautiful thing to remind ourselves of. There is no time limit on becoming who you're meant to be. There's no time limit, friend. You're still becoming that. Nate spitting facts, right? Absolute facts. I live in Amish country, lots of horses, lots of poop. Gateway knows exactly what I'm talking about. We don't even have those, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. Bless all you beautiful fractals. Bless you. Thank you, brother. It's so nice to have all of you here with me. Headed to class. Love to you. Truth. Thank you, dear friends. We didn't even read something worth saying. Guess we didn't have to. You know, we knew what had to be said. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much. Like the amount of love you friends share with me, you make me feel like there's hope, you know? And I guess in some way that I'm trying to do the same for you. Do I give you hope? Because the amount of hope you friends give me, it's visceral. It makes me melt, where melting to me is this experience where I'm so overwhelmed by the love of God that it reduces me to my essential core, just awareness, right? Like if I had to tell myself some sort of story about how I'm worthy of this love, then it becomes an egotistical thing. If I had to tell myself a story of how I'm not worthy of this love, then it becomes self-denying unworthiness complex. So to melt is just to be here, aware, and be like, oh, love, multiplicity and unity. You as the multiplicity, reminding me of the unity. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Like, goodness, I'm losing it. Mm. I don't know anything other than love. It's a joke. It's a joke. Like I try to at least listen to as many intelligent people as possible, and then I feel so stupid listening to these dudes I was listening to the Jordan Peterson, John Vervaeke, and Jonathan something podcast today. And these dudes are like, they're getting into the thick of it. And I imagine myself being in that conversation with them. And I'm just like, I wouldn't know what to say. I'm not articulate enough. I'm not wise enough. I don't know enough to know what I would want to say in this conversation, in this context right now. And then to realize that we don't need to, that actively we're becoming, that is not what's important, right? That what's important is to be happy that things are. You friends make me happy. We're gonna pull a card, see some sacred geometry, and then I'm gonna dance my heart out for you friends. And then we're gonna say goodbye. This one? Okay. Spiraling into love. You see, card number 44. Of course. How could it be anywhere else? Like, this has been one of those streams where I couldn't make it up, right? Like, if I had to somehow, like, write myself a story of, like, what is the perfect stream gonna look like? What has to be said? What has to be felt? What do we have to discuss for it to be the perfect stream? And then it ends like this. Card number 44. DNA molecules, two people embracing one another in love. Whew. I can imagine you getting all the money that you can and you create your shop where you have cameras set up so you can enjoy. I don't even know if I would like the camera setup, Like, I see what you're seeing. I see completely what you're seeing, and there's 44% battery on my phone as well right now, just for more synchronicity. I can see what you're seeing, Hodor, but the way that I see it, right, is that we're all seeing from the same place. That all I am is aware, fundamentally. That when I'm born into this world, I'm just aware. And then within this awareness, I figure out that there are things to be aware of. I can figure out that I'm supposed to be aware of food, that I'm aware that there's certain foods that I like more than others. I can be aware of certain conversations, certain exchanges, and I can want certain exchanges more than others. And that awareness basically leads to me starting to form this ego as I keep telling myself these stories about what I like being aware of. And then eventually, I do that to the point where I convince myself that that is who I am. That instead of the ultimate awareness that we all are, I am this version of the awareness that likes this version of the awareness that likes this version of the awareness, instead of just the awareness, fundamentally. So, if I provide a space, this essential store, to awareness, I would be, as awareness, seeing myself being able to get the resources I need to feed my kids, for example, right? To be so worried in a moment that I won't be able to feed my kids, and then to be able to go to the essential store, get the things I need to be able to feed my kids tonight, to be able to see that, right? To, as self, as awareness, to see this is the truth of the world right now, that within this infinite space, within all the pain that I've experienced, within all the difficulty that I've gone through, within the hardship that I might be experiencing right now to not be able to afford the essentials, I can see that there's a being somewhere in infinity that loves enough to give to me, right? So I don't have to see it even, because it is the I seeing it. I hope that makes any sense, Hodor. We're not separate, friend. We're not separate. None of us are. And if we can love everyone equally, if we can love everyone, period, then all of us will be loved. Spiraling into love. One more time. Spiraling into love. Melting into love. The spiral helix of our DNA whirls around the sacred couple, multiplicity, and unity. The sacred couple and quickens communication of their intimacy. Human DNA helps connects us to the web of creation. It holds ancestral knowledge as well as future potential in vast libraries of information. Also, swirling around this couple are spirals of possibilities that they have to only recognize in order to activate. As they experience both human intimacy and universal love, this information stimulates their conscious decision to communicate with genuine intimacy. There are many styles of communication. Simple words may be effective for making a statement or providing instructions. However, when concepts and emotion enter the exchange, words often fail to convey the message intended. This card asks you to view how you communicate. Do you speak with your heart, with respect and serenity? Do you truly listen to the people with whom you are speaking? Resolve to look into the eyes of the person with whom you are communicating and recognize the marvelous being that stands or sits before you. Observe both your own and the other's body language and feel their essence. Listen with discernment before you respond. Formulate your words as if they are prayers wanting to be shared with gentle grace and positive intent. Speak your truth in the most intimate way that you are able. Speak your truth in the most intimate way that you are able. Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me speak my truth, friends. For letting me be intimate. What a beautiful message you say, Auntie. You're the beautiful listener, friend. You're the one that knows what the message means. You're the one that's beautiful. Huh, Peppy? Don't you agree? These people are so freaking beautiful, Peppy. How do you even exist? How do people as beautiful as you even exist? You know, all the amount of pain we've experienced, all the amount of anger, separation, and yet you exist. A loving entity within infinity. Within infinity. Just think about that shit. You could do anything. Anything. And yet the thing you're choosing to do is be loving? That's insane. That's that's bonkers. I'm gonna dance my heart out to say thank you. Card time? Card time. 44, of course. I'm not even remotely surprised. Such a beautiful card. Thank you, Mel. You're the beautiful one, dear friend. I think I might end the YouTube stream just so I have a media device. I love you, friends. I love you, friends. I love you, friends. I love you so much. Thank you for joining me here. I'll see you on the Reddit in a bit. I'm gonna give some water back to the universe, and then I'm gonna get my speaker, and then I'm gonna point this stream towards the sun that is setting behind us, and then I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. Ooh. Actually, I'm gonna do it like that, so we can see the sun. Yeah. The wind decided to be loving too, apparently. Dude, Joviv, you realized as well. As I was sitting and thinking about, ending the stream, I was thinking about the same thing. Thank you, dear friend, for manifesting a little bit less wind noise with me. I'm gonna end the YouTube stream. Mwah! Love you, YouTube friends. I'll see you again. Bye.